Vishwam Vishnur Vashatkaro Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu. What does that mean? These are the first lines of Vishnu Sahasranama, meaning He who is the universe itself, He who is spread everywhere, He who is the personification of Vedic sacrifice or yajna, He who is the master of present, past, and future. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We begin the series of Nakshatra studies. These are esoteric studies in the energies of every single one of the 27 constellations of Vedic astrology. Number 1, Ashwini, falls in the zodiac sign of Aries zodiac between 0 degrees to 13 degrees 20 minutes of Aries. Now you can see the picture over there. The sign is of horses. They are also called as horse-headed twins. They are twins and they are the physicians to the devas. Remember, we spoke about studying nakshatras is best with the deity that governs it. Ashwini Kumaras twins. Ashwin means a horse. It is falling in the zodiac sign of Aries and it is ruled by Ketu. Now let's examine the padas. The first pada of Ashwini Nakshatra is Aries, so it is Vargottama. Vargottama meaning it falls in the same sign in natal chart and in the Navamsha chart. So this will be very exalted position of planets and points to be studied. You need to see Ashwini Nakshatra when your chart is showing a dominance 2 or 3 or more planets or points situated in this Ashwini Nakshatra. Okay, between 0 degrees and 13.2 degrees of Aries. The first, we are taking that slice of the pie which is shown in the right corner, bottom right corner. That slice of the pie we are examining in this. So what's the energy of Aries in Ashwini Nakshatra? Energy of Aries in Ashwini Nakshatra is of an initiator. They are the risk takers. They need admiration. They could become good healers because Ashwini Kumar twins were the physicians to the gods. So there's a hint there. Everything is a hint. Okay. They can become healers, doctors, even surgeons, even athletes. They are adaptable. They are very commanding. They are friendly. They could be controlling, for example, in first pada, because Aries is very strong. So there's a tremendous amount of Mars energy there. They are intelligent people. It provides continuous learning. They could be very sexual in pada 2 because the pada 2 transcends from Aries in the Navamsha into Taurus. Taurus is very early. So Aries plus Taurus, the Mars plus Venus, because Venus rules Taurus, gives them a very sexual nature. They can be helpful, they can be quick, they can be restless, like the moon, if moon is there. Difficult to maintain relationships because they are impulsive, they are beginners of things. They do not like particularly to finish things, but they are very good beginners. They are the initiators, right? They can be impulsive like Venus. Again, it could be in the second pada, the Artha pada, between 3 degrees 20 minutes to 6 degrees 40 minutes in Aries, which in the natal chart, if it's Aries, in your Navamsha, it will go to Taurus, like you can see in the table there. I made the series ready to use, folks. You can plot your own chart using plenty of websites out there which give you Vedic astrology charts, and you can use this as a guidepost. There are plenty of good websites for learning Vedic astrology, plenty of good YouTube channels. I'm just giving you my study notes here. So they can be well groomed. They can have good health, a lot of fire energy. Why? Because Mars is there. They have lack of stability and consistency because there's too much of Aries energy. Aries energy is also ruled by Mars. So Mars is like a soldier. It's like just wants to go out and do stuff. They're action-oriented people. That's why they lack stability and consistency. They could be seeking power, especially if planets and points are in the first pada between 0 degrees and 3 degrees 20 minutes, which is Aries Vargottama. So they will be very power hungry. They could be materialistic and grounded in the second pada because Taurus is ruled by Venus and it's an earth sign. They could have a lot of sexual vigor, passions, and they could be youthful in pada 3 because it's of Kama, 6 degrees 40 minutes to 10 degrees of Aries. They could be healers, doctors, surgeons, empathic, especially in pada 4, the moksha pada. The moksha pada is always a water sign going into Navamsha. So the natal, if it's your Aries between 10 degrees and 13 degrees, it goes into the Navamsha of Cancer. Cancer is very emotional. It's the fourth house. It's ruled by moon, especially moon maybe in your sixth house along with other planets and points. You could be a doctor, a surgeon. Life lesson. This is one of the most important parts of every nakshatra we'll be dealing with. What is the life lesson? What is Ashwini asking you to do this lifetime or investigate? You have to use what you have to initiate new beginnings. Ashwini is all about new beginnings. Okay, so you should be using what you have. Don't start craving for what you do not have. You already have some talent. You got to go through your chart, investigate what the talent is, where you would be able to shine in this life. And that's the life lesson for Ashwini. If you have lots of planets or points in birth chart and Navamsha in Ashwini, that means you are being driven to start something new. You need to initiate using what you have. You have to be willing to ride it out. So the mantra that I feel would help for Ashwini Nakshatra people, dominant Ashwini Nakshatra, is Vishnu Sahasranama. The ages active are 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 20, 24, 28, 26, 30, 46, and 67. So it's a very active nakshatra. Not all nakshatras have a lot of years where they are active. These ages meaning your age, what age you are right now, and when these Ashwini in your chart would be active, right? And that particular house where Ashwini falls in. So you got to investigate this way. Okay. Next, we will move on to the Bharani. Okay. Ganeshwaro Ganakrido Gananatho Ganadhipaha Ekadanto Vakratundo Gajavaktro Mahodaraha. These are the beautiful lines from Ganesha Sahasranama, the 1,000 names of Lord Ganesha, who represents the primordial innocence, the innocence that guards the Divine Mother. Why are we speaking of Ganesha here? Because we come to the 10th nakshatra of Magha, which represented by the vehicle of the mouse, which is the vehicle of Lord Ganpati. That's why reciting this Sahasranama will be good for these people, the 10th nakshatra of Magha. Now let's speak about Magha and what it means. The 10th nakshatra, Magha, falls in the zodiac sign of Leo. It begins the Leo zodiac sign. So its nature is fierce, meaning they can be very fierce in their approach. They don't take no for an answer, for example. They will go after whatever they want and get it. Very aggressive kind of nature, okay? Plus Gana being Rakshasa, so they will attack and get things whatever they want in life. However, their deity is pit through the ancestors, so these people can be lucky also. Maybe they may have a lot of inheritance kind of thing. Let's examine their energies. This has got a lot of ancestor energy represented by that royal throne you see over there. They can be very traditional. They like family values a lot. They can be holding on to their past, their family culture, their ancestral property, inheritance, archaeology, perhaps in the second pada. They can be lucky. They can have unexpected good wealth. They can have good fortune, ancestral support. That's what it means. They will want power, leadership, fame, and they're outspoken, especially in Pada 1. This is Leo 101, right? This is the popular Leo whom we talk about, the leadership qualities. That's this angle, 0 to 13 degrees of Leo zodiac sign. They can be brave, they can seek success, they are natural leaders, they may be into politics, law, and history, all of which represent the past, especially in Pada 3. Outspoken can be more in Pada 3 because it is Gemini also going into Navamsha. You got to start seeing what the main zodiac is and where it goes into the Navamsha. That will give the angle of sort of the vector of where this person will go if you have more planets or points in this nakshatra. So they can be family oriented, protective in nature. They may be good at planning. They are of a quiet nature, not so much small talk, especially in Pada 4, which is very emotional in nature. They can be strong defenders. They can have a very strong sexual drive. Pada 1 and 2, I would think, because Aries and Taurus both are that way. They need attention and flattery, especially in Pada 3, because it's Kama and Gemini. The life lesson, finally, of this nakshatra is alignment with righteousness, to be and to command true power. What does that mean? True power comes from within. True power is not given to you from additional sources. However, in the case of Magha, we have the blessings of their ancestors. These people are blessed by their ancestors to do something in this lifetime, in this birth. So need the right direction. They need the right alignment and to command the true power in this world. The true power would be what? The true power would be doing for others, service to others. So they have to be on the guard between getting caught in their own ego trips versus doing things for others, bringing that wealth and that authority and sense of power given to them by the masses for the sake of others. This is the life lesson of whatever sun is about. Anyway, this is the zodiac ruled by the sun, which is all about self. So they have to go more into others, service to others. Mantra would be Ganesha Sahasranama. The ages that this nakshatra is active is 18, 31, 46, 49, 51, 52, 60, 61, 70, and 89. So very active nakshatra in all these age groups. So if you have more dominant planets or points, which are in any one of these age groups that you are, you will have Magha Nakshatra very active, especially if you have two or more. We are talking about majority here. If there are two or more than two planets in Magha, you have a dominant theme of this nakshatra playing out. Okay. Next, we shall be doing Purva Falguni Nakshatra. Mooladharai Kanilaya Brahma Grandhi Vibhedini. These are the lines which almost define this next nakshatra of ours from Lalita Sahasranama, the 19th nakshatra of Mula Nakshatra. Now, Mula in Sanskrit means the root, the roots, and the symbol is of a bunch of roots tied together. So, what does Mula Nakshatra signify? It falls, first of all, between 0 degrees of Sagittarius and going into 13 degrees, 20 minutes of Sagittarius. And the Navamsha goes from Aries to Cancer, the 4 padas. So Mula, you must understand, is getting to the root of things. Name itself suggests that. They want to dig deep. They want to get into the root of things. Now let's examine the nature and energies. The nature is very sharp, and the Gana is the Rakshasa. So they are more on the materialistic side, and they can be very sharp in their speech, sharp in their discernment, sharp in their intellect and intelligence, sharp in their emotions. Sharp can be in any one of the things, depending upon what planets or points are deposited in this nakshatra in your chart. This means they are all about getting to the root of that thing, getting to the base. What is the real meaning of it? Goddess is Nriti, goddess of dissolution. That's why best is to recite Lalita Sahasranama as I spoke of. You can get to the root of things better, have more discernment. This is all about discernment for all my light worker friends. Mula Nakshatra is the heart of discernment, beginning of discernment, you could say. So what's the energy of Mula Nakshatra? It's destruction of material obsessions. You're not obsessed with materialistic life, but Mula Nakshatra begins the trend of destruction of material obsessions. They have the power of influence. They can influence a lot because they get to the root of things. They could be grounded, especially in second pada with Artha, Sagittarius going into Taurus. They can be going deep into structure of things. in the first pada, especially because Sagittarius goes into Aries. There's a lot of fire there. Internalizing research is another one of their themes. They tend to go deep within. It's good for a meditative kind of a person. Internalizing research, finding out the depth of things, fixated on things. Extreme rigidity could be in Pada too, because Sagittarius moves into Taurus, which is about rigidity and stubbornness in it. They have themes of new beginnings in their life, moving away from materialism in first Pada. Materialism and artistic nature could also come in Pada too. More mental and more balanced could come in Pada 3, Sagittarius moving into Gemini, air and fire combination there. Constant ups and downs of learning and experience in Pada 4 because Sagittarius goes into Cancer, the movable sign. Both are moving. So if it's in Pada 4, the Moksha Pada, this means they learn through the ups and downs of life. Learning and experience comes with ups and downs. That's their method of learning. There's nothing wrong or right about it. It's just a method of learning that these people have opted for. Their souls have opted for this. The life lesson of Mula Nakshatra is digging deep to destroy the lies. This signifies that bunch of roots tied together to expose the truth. Now, this can be sounding very dramatic, but basically it means they have a lot of discernment energy. They can dig deep to destroy all the lies that surround a particular subject. It might be research. First thing that comes to mind is research. These people can be very good researchers in any field because they are trying to dig deep to destroy the hidden lies and uncover the truth. Can't get any more light worker theme than that, folks. So Mula Nakshatra is very good for these kind of energies. There is a life lesson. The mantra would be Lalita Sahasranama. The ages active is 6, 25, 34, 52, 30, 35, 60, 61, 84, and 87. Quite an active nakshatra there. So if you're passing through one of those active houses in your chart, and this nakshatra is playing dominantly, these themes will play out dominantly in your life. Next, we shall be talking about the Purva Ashata Nakshatra. Take care, be safe.